A very good evening to one and all present here. I welcome you all to the valedictory session of Jigyasa program. I now invite our Director Dr. B. Chandrasekharan and Guest of Honor Dr. A. Ramesh, Director International Institute of Biotechnology and Toxicology, Padapai, to kindly take their seats on the dais, please. We begin this program with invocation by students of KVIIT.
सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा हंसवाहिनी शारदे हंसवाहिनी शारदे वीणा विनोदिनी शारदे हंसवाहिनी शारदे वीणा विनोदिनी शारदे भावराग विनोदिनी भावराग विनोदिनी लयताल बोधिनी शारदे भावराग विनोदिनी लयताल बोधिनी शारदे मेघवाहिनी शुभप्रदायिनी विद्यादायिनी शारदे मेघवाहिनी शुभप्रदायिनी विद्यादायिनी शारदे जयति जयति धर्मस्वरूपिणी जयति जयति मोक्षप्रदायिनी जयति जयति विघ्नविनाशिनी जयति जयति मा जयति जयति धर्मस्वरूपिणी जयति जयति मोक्षप्रदायिनी जयति जयति विघ्नविनाशिनी जयति जयति मा हंसवाहिनी शारदे वीणा विनोदिनी शारदे हंसवाहिनी शारदे वीणा विनोदिनी शारदे वीणा विनोदिनी शारदे वीणा विनोदिनी शारदे
Request our Director Dr. B. Chandrasekharan to say a few words, please.
Dr. A. Ramesh, the Director, International Institute of Biotechnology and Toxicology, our chief guest for today's valedictory function, my colleague, Dr. Jnanamani, faculties of various KV schools, KV Sangathan, my dear school children, and my own colleagues A very good evening to all of you. There will be a saying that all is well that ends well. And here is the program formulated by CSIR to reach out to all the Kendriya Vidyalaya schools in the country with about more than 3,500 scientific community working in CSIR family, interacting with the students and the faculty for inculcating scientific temper among the school children. It's a noble program, we must say. And we at CSIR-CLRI have started earnestly taking this Jigyasa to almost to the maximum level that could be done. I think it all started, it's about 7 to 8 months back. But then I have told, in fact, Dr. Narasimhaswamy, who is the overall coordinator of this program, had interacted with the then newly joined the Deputy Commissioner, Mr. Mani. And Mr. Mani was very enthusiastic and giving all his support to start this initiative. And sir, we did this especially into the district. We went to the districts of Tiruvannamalai school and Dharmaburi school to start with, and subsequently we did go to Arakonam and Takkolam schools as well. And then we said, there's always people say, nothing is like seeing to believe. But we went one step ahead. Nothing is believing only when you practice and experience that. So our scientists who had gone there to give various lectures, of course with whatever little of demonstration that could be shown to them in an offshore manner onto their school premises. But we also thought that we must have probably a residential program of at least about 3 days or 4 days, where the students would stay back here in our campus, also work hands-on along with the scientists of repute. And this is the first of that program so that we have started under Jigyasa. And I'm seeing here, and there are several of both some of the fundamental science related, lectures and demonstrations, as well as some applied research based one. It's a mix of all of this, depending upon this, and it is heartening to see about 65 school children are participating in this from almost about 11 to 12 different schools, I suppose, 10 different schools. I think the major this is coming from the region of Avadi, where they have nearly about 4 or 5 of them there, 4. And of course the other schools in and around Chennai. Since we have reached out to Dharmaburi, Tiruvannamalai, Arakonam, and those schools also evinced interest, and I must be thankful to the school management for sending their children back here, because for those outstation candidates, we may have to provide them an accommodation, and we have to really take care of their stay and other things also as well comfortable. So that's the reason why, and probably we limited to maybe only about 15 or 20 students of their schools here for such one. Otherwise, all other students of city-based one would, of course, commute back to their home and come back in the morning to us. And I'm yet to hear from them. Of course, I did interact yesterday with some of them, and they were evincing, yes, they are interested in these activities. And in fact, some of them were wearing their lab coats, and we said, why are you wearing? No, we feel great by even wearing those laboratory coats and then going for our experiments. And yes, and then we had one of our fellow director with us, and he said, yes, you are all future scientists. Definitely you deserve to be into that mode. And I must say here that in all these programs, whether we went for at least about 4 such programs for schools where we reached out through demonstration and other things going out, I must compliment our staff who took active interest in making this program a memorable one for those school children. And the same effort is being now put. And this is not the first time this institute is working in such programs. And very recently we had the India International Science Festival for students, especially that attracted large number of school children from all over the country. And today I must say I did receive a mail from one of the students who is now studying in the Delhi region. He wrote to me and saying that I'm really interested to work in some of the research-based activities during my 11th and 12th, and I would like to join CLRI KV for my 11th standard. And I need your assistance in securing admission in CLRI KV school for my 11th standard. Today morning I received a mail. Why I'm saying, he said he was a recipient of some awards in that India's International Students Festival as well, and where he was participating in it, and he was really interested to join this school to be more focused for his scientific interest to be pursued upon. When I saw that, and in fact I immediately forwarded that to my the principal of KV school, and for formalizing his admission should it happen for his this after his board exams. That also goes to prove the efforts of our staff who are making this mark among the students. And I take this opportunity to thank everyone who is contributing to this. And I'm happy to welcome every one of you for this valedictory event. And when I say this is a valedictory, oh, is that over? So is this the end for our, this probably not. This is only a beginning. You have made an interaction with us. Whenever you feel, even for your summer intern and those kind of things, even if on your summer vacations, probably you can always feel free to come back to us, have more interaction. Of course, with the permission from your school, definitely, because they should know, where you go and what you do also. Since you are part of the school management, we would definitely assist. To an extent, some of these things we could do only to a smaller section of people, since it involves hands-on and other things, one at a time, those kind of stuff. But then our such exercise could be made in a timely manner, where periodically we can always have this, because we don't want to disturb your routine academic careers and as well as your academic pattern timelines, because often there are large limitations for this. Sometimes the school themselves to complete their mandatory number of working days. And I know I myself, since I'm the chairman for one of the school, I get to know, sir, this time we are falling short of 15 working days. And how do we manage that? There are a lot of vacations that has to be declared in view of monsoon and so many other reasons and these things. And of course, there are plenty of effort taken by school. In such a situation, how do we accommodate these kind of programs? That's where this, and I must appreciate the efforts of all the school principals who have readily agreed to our request. And then coming to it, I must also acknowledge here the efforts of the Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, and who were also proactive and encouraging the various school managements to send their wards here. And I once again welcome every one of you here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now invite Dr. Ramesh to kindly deliver his address.
Institute, which is one of the pioneer in India. Of course, if you look into the current activities, you are just moving from primary to secondary education, or maybe this is the point where you need a lot of inputs. Concept-wise, you have been given education. That's mainly basically primary education until now. And even during these particular 2 to 3 days, you got exposed to several activities. Definitely I can say you should proudly feel, you should greatly feel that you are fortunate enough to get exposed to world level scientific activity. When it comes to the scientific activity, the power of science is not in the paper. Power of science is in the lab. Power of science is in the hands of the scientists. So you got exposed. So you're able to see, you're able to smell the true science in the lab and what is happening there. If you just would like to see, perhaps you might have read several activities like water purification or petroleum distillation or catalysis, this, that, so many things in the +1 or +2 or even nowadays it starts from. But this is the place where you can see all those activities. You can get exposure and you got a chance to interact with the scientists. Because the government of India, they created such an environment here, giving an opportunity to all, either boys and girls, even giving an opportunity at the basic education level, creating a kind of curiosity, Jigyasa, which helps in improving your knowledge. Because, as I said, that primary education, where until that one you are going to learn. What your teacher says, you simply follows, because you are at the learning stage. The moment you step up, that goes to secondary education, you need to apply your mind. You need to understand. You are going one more level ahead, that applying your mind and try to understanding the concepts and getting knowledge out of it. That's most important. Because you have been taught several activities even in your primary education. Perhaps most of you are aware that your miss or master might have asked you to make so many things, models, this and that. What are all these things? That is to create a creativity, that is to encourage a creativeness. Because you should understand in the best possible way what is meant by creativity, what is meant by creativeness. Unless otherwise, you are creative in thinking, you may not be able to reach the goal. You may not be able to achieve the success. You may not be a scientist of the discovery. you may not be a scientist of the invention. So creativity comes from the brain, and it works through the mind. It applies in the form of science and take you several steps far ahead. So those who are having the creative in mind, creativity that leads to a greater goals. Because there are several aspects, if you look at that science and technology that teaches. Because for all the basic the science, fundamentals of the science are essential, where you cannot compromise. And this is the age that you need to strongly capture all the essence of the fundamentals. That is the strength of that is the foundation of your entire lifetime. That leads you to become a great scientist. Of course, technology development, that's all different. That's totally, it comes under innovativeness. When you think of innovativeness, it's only new technique. But you have something in hand, you need to achieve the same thing in a different directions, where you apply your mind innovatively, and then you come out. But creativity is total creation. If you just see, Brahma is the creator of the universe, we call in Hindu epics. Similarly, when Brahmaji was there, at the same time, probably some of you might have had the Vishwamitra. He is the parallel creator of the universe. When he created, why can't I create the universe? That's the creation. What is possible with him is also possible with me. Like that, you might have already seen such a beautiful lab here at the CLRI. Can anybody imagine such a beautiful lab in the sky? Is it possible? Yes. In the 80s, Dr. Pogo, who was the great scientist, or we call it as an astronaut, it was his brainchild of creating a lab in the sky. That's what we'll call it, a sky lab. Perhaps we may be aware, not down the line. But that is in the early 80s, that is one of the lab. He has taken it, he put it into the orbit, created the lab for the total experiment. Of course, I got an opportunity to interact with him and to spend some time with my family, a couple of minutes. And it was amazing to see the experiment. Now, there is a replica of similar Skylab in the Cape Canaveral. He took us, and in the 80s, where we don't have mobile, where we don't have communication, but the amazing development, that is the willpower, that is the discovery, that is the innovation, that is the creativity. He is the project manager who single-handedly developed the entire Skylab project and make sure that he made it in the sky. The same lab, what we can see here, similar type of the labs, he created for the experimental purpose. He has taken a lot of microbes there and he kept it, and then he tried to develop what happens. Is there any changes? What type of changes that we can see? That is the basic. So that's why you need to inculcate creativity in your mind. You need to inculcate creativity in your mind. Once you inculcate that creativity, automatically that leads to the either discovery or the inventions. Because when it comes to the discovery, coach, you are looking at a point, either it's a drug or a pharma or any other point. With that particular object, that's the focus. You are doing a research, finally you are coming out, probably for your basic knowledge. To bring out one molecule of a pharma, close to 150,000 molecules that need to be screened. Similarly, the same case. Because it's a huge number. And we need to understand what are the properties and how it works, whether we can use it, and what type of study that we need to do it. That's a kind of discovery. But the inventions are great. Of course, definitely I can say that the great inventor that hails from India, Aryabhat, who invented the zero. Since then, can you make any other inventions? Yes, the other invention is from our own soil. That is by great Ramanujan. Who invented the number theory? Who invented the number theory? One, he was sitting in a temple down the tree. He saw a couple of birds flying. And at that time, he was looking the birds moving front, going up, like this, all the things. He was thinking, what is the angle that they use and all the things. And finally, he brought it to aerodynamic that ultimately created the Star Wars program, etc., etc. That is the development. That is the innovation. That is where the discovery and the inventions takes place. Because there are 2 points that you need to understand. Success is different and being successful is different. At each and every stage, you need to lead your life in by creating a successful path. By successful path, because achieving the goals, targeting the goals, and then aiming your targets. Unless otherwise you have a target, you may not be able to reach. So, in the scientific environment, you need to have a goal. Without science, there is no development, there is no technology, I can say, definitely. A couple of days back, I was visiting one mosquito net factory. What is that? Mosquito net manufacturing factory. Amazing to see that he is a ordinary diploma holder, and he was currently he is producing close to 1 lakh mosquito impregnated, insecticide impregnated mosquito nets, and he is supplying throughout the globe from our Tamil Nadu, from Karur. I went there on behalf of the WHO. I was inspecting. It's so surprising and amazing to see that what is his background is not even 10th standard. What is the technology? Amazing technology that he is using. You name anything, it's there on his fingertips. His focus is only to bring down and to chase and to make sure that all these insecticide mosquito nets are available at the low cost, at a cheaper rate. So that's why he was able to make it. And he employs close to 3,000 people there throughout the India. And then he used polymer technology, spinning and weaving, knitting and netting. Amazing to see. And the net was one of the first one who was approved by the WHO under the pre-qualifying program. That's from our Karur. Nobody perhaps might have imagined. He said, yes, these are all the innovations in technology. These are all the happening because of the innovation. Need not be an engineer. He is not having any engineering background, but he had so many automatic engineering machines he employed. He is not a polymeric scientist, but he employed an impregnated technology and he uses polymers every day. He knows what is the quality. He knows what is the type of polymer that has to be used. What is the LDP, what is the HDP, everything he tells. And what are the binders? Yes. So it shows that creativity in mind. If you are creative in mind, yes, things are all in your hand. Things are all in your hands. you can achieve anything and everything with the help of the science. Now, definitely I can say you are all fortunate enough to perhaps might have seen several activities in this campus with the help of the faculty, those who have taken a lot of stress and strain to make you understand, to make you involve. And I wish you the presence of this couple of days in this scientific environment definitely will give a creativity and creativeness in your mind, and this will become a catalyst that leads to your success. It should become a catalyst and it should lead for your success in the coming days ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your deep knowledge with us and for telling us how to be creative and set goals in science. Dr. Ramesh completed his PhD in chemistry in the year 1991. He is the fellow of RSC London, UK in the year 1998. He is also involved in FAO and WHO evaluations. He has guided 27